the limit, and continue with Bella, and she dreams that she has grown up and became Tita Bella, and Edward is still werewolf as he is. At 9 o'clock, she meets her father to celebrate her 16th birthday, growing a year older according to God's will. And this is something in itself natural, but what is not natural is that she will be older than her lover Edward, who is actually older than her by 190 years. She says her father grew up, "Oh, Bella." And Bella replies, "Don't improve your jokes. Oh, grandfather, God's eye." Her father gives her a complete gift, and her mother gives her a photo album to have school memories. She goes to school, meets her friends, and takes pictures with them for the album. He comes after that. Edward personally gives Bella a gift, telling her not to dwell on the past. Jacob arrives with a gym membership, attempting to impress Bella, but she suggests it's time for him to move forward with their classmates. When Edward is away, Jacob comforts Bella. The key point is that she's with him. Does Jacob give Bella a birthday present? This is not a gift. Jacob is like a brother to Bella. Later, Edward questions why Jacob gives Bella a gift, but he doesn't. The kiss is meant to be brotherly. Then Alice came to give Bella a dress as a gift, and told her they were going to have a party for Bella's birthday at the Cullens' house, and that she must come and go. Then Bella enters. Edward, with a sense of literature, doubted they had any at all. The important thing is that afterwards there was a sense. She recounts Romeo and Juliet's tale. Edward envies Romeo's need, and Bella naturally mentions Juliet. "You are all kinds of people, and there's nothing with you but the soil. God willing, the agent is good in you, O manhood." He tells her that he intended to commit suicide, as disco vampires who suck blood can't commit suicide like humans. She responds, saying it's not okay and they will regret it, especially since he has a house. He tells her about the Volturi group. I don't mean by the name. I mean they are like the royal family for bloodsuckers, all of them, and those who have put laws that they all walk by. The most important thing is that no one from the bloodsuckers reveals himself to humans, and anyone who does such a thing will be eliminated. She considers it essentially the only way of suicide for them. They start to panic after a while and say, will she turn me into a vampire or what? The important thing is that she scares them after a while. Bella prepares for the party and starts her day with a gift. When she opens it in the morning, her watch emerges from the wrapping wire, covered in blood. Edward reads the time on her watch, indicating that Bella is about to flee at dawn. Using his magical vampire powers, he catches her and throws her like a bride, further upsetting Bella's body. The fight between Edward and Jasper continues, with the family keeping Jasper away. Jasper appears tired from the confrontation. Ultimately, they all leave, due to the strong scent of Bella's blood, and they take her away from the scene. After that, Dr. Carlyle needs to stitch her wound for her to recover. It's crucial she understands that Jasper, being a new vampire, is the reason behind the incident. He can't resist human blood like them, and at times, she tells him, "You've never felt like you wanted to taste human blood." So he tells her that he was very upset afterwards and that he wants to help people, and doesn't feel like he's a monster or cursed. At times, Bella realizes that the reason Edward doesn't change her is that he doesn't want her to feel what he feels. That he's a monster, cursed, worthless like a stray dog. Any necessary? Anyway, after her wound starts to heal, Edward comes to see her. Or rather, he tells her that he can't protect her for long, so he won't change her. Anyway, he tells her after a while, Edward. She wakes up the next day and Bella goes to school, but none of the Cullens are going that day. When Bella returns home, she finds Edward waiting for her. He takes her into the forest, and to her surprise, confesses his love for her. 10 minutes into the movie, he decides that true love is letting your girlfriend be in danger, that he's done something terribly wrong, and he's going back to her, come hell or high water. He calmly tells her that he doesn't want to hurt her anymore, and that she deserves better than him, not some disco-loving vampire. He tells her, "Promise me you won't try to change me," then disappears into the night. Bella goes looking for him, but it's no use. He's gone, disappearing into the forest. When one of Charlie's friends finds Bella and takes her home, what does Bella do? Does she move on with her life? No. Of course, she focuses on her studies. Does she go out and think about herself? No, of course not. Does she talk to her friends? No, of course not. She lives a life of utter depression, sitting on a chair for months, listening to Tom Ashore's Leftovers, envisioning Edward everywhere, weeping on the ruins, and voting while still grieving and in need. This is my taste, I swear. Anyway, one day her father tells her that she must return to live with her mother, and at that moment, they say she won't leave the place here, she says at that moment. Edward is not brave above, he stayed above, Bella stayed. Don't exceed my daughter. The important thing is Bella, the next day, she goes out with her friend Jessica to buy some things like this. And they are walking. Bella stayed. At her time, she sees boys and motorcycles and thinks, when she passed by these boys before and if Edward came to save her, from them. And she actually says, "Oh, I wish if I did this again, maybe Edward would come and save me." At her time, she sees Edward's illusion warning her not to go to them. And at her time, the subject grows more in her mind, and she leaves her friend, and she goes towards them, and her illusion appears to her again, telling her to stay away from them. But she pretends more. and she rides behind a boy from them, and they keep moving. And while she is on the way, she still sees his illusion, and if they are going to disappear, her illusion, they are walking. So she opens her watch, the boy stops, and she gets off to return to her friend again, and she continues her way, and she says in her mind, whenever she sees him while attempting self-harm, she won't stop. Jerry, what are you doing? Really? Since Edward vanished, she visits Mina Amina to summon Jiko Bedeka as his replacement, anticipating an incredible experience. Motorcycling want to reconcile, and of course there is no relation to him, because he is a mechanic. I want a mechanic. Fix the engine. I want a mechanic. He arrives with Jiko's other motorcycles, carrying one like a watermelon under his arm. You'll be amazed by his strength. She says the animal strums her heart. When they repair the bikes, Jiko's other friends arrive, and one says they heard he fixes motorcycles, seeing no one else. But the important thing is they were, of course, thinking that Bella was his girlfriend. But she tells them that they are just friends. But this feeling is not used much because Bella used to forget his turns, as long as she's with Jacob and he can fix it later. The motorcycles are a fantasy for Bella and Jacob to ride. After a while, you'll see that Bella owns Jacob's motorcycle, and they will be riding them down from the hill. And at her hour, Bella kneels, but Jacob convinces her. They do this to mean what kind of adventure and fun, what relaxation. Anyway, they continue their way after a while. When Bella rides the motorcycle, she sees Edward's ghost warning her not to do it. She speeds towards the motorcycle, balances it, gets scared, and falls. Jacob arrives, tells her he doesn't have girls riding motorcycles, and takes off his t-shirt. And of course, Bella, before he pulls out the t-shirt, starts to say, wow, 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 wow. And of course, Jacob, who does this, I have no invitation, and I swear to God I am naturally built. Urgently, Bella goes to school the next day and sits down to talk with her friends after a long period of silence with them. In the meantime, Smike takes the opportunity to tell her, why don't you go to the cinema? She tells him she prefers action over romance. They decide to watch a Rob movie, so she can protect him from the scary scenes, saying she's Rasood and Maniel. They all agree to go to the movie together, and she brings her friend Jacob. However, her friends get tired and can't keep up, so they leave her and Jacob to enjoy the movie. The two of them sit with their hands positioned so she can hold on to him. She feels like she's in a multiple-choice test, but the one who came to check on them made a mistake. When she reaches for the right, she thinks about the left, and when she reaches for the left, she finds a hand. After the incident, Mike is back to normal. Jacob, upset, tells her that he was supposed to bring someone stronger than Mike. He whispers in her ear, asking if he can whisper to her. She kindly reminds him they're just friends, but he insists she's attracted to him. To him, she says, yes, but we are friends, we are reading. He tells her, but you? You told me I am? He tells her, yes, we are friends. He tells her after a while that he is always there. And the next day, Bella sent a voice message to Jacob saying she wanted to visit him, because her father said he was tired, but he didn't allow her to come to him. At night, she apologized for telling you we were friends. The next day, she messaged him that he was calling her. And when she leaves, she goes to his house very normally. The important thing is that when she first sees him, she is shocked that he has shaved his hair and got a tattoo, which means that he is not tired or anything. Avoiding his house is important. When he sees her next, he tells her to leave, stating he knows about the Collins life and no longer wants to be friends with them because she lied. She then departs. Bella is unsure and goes to her house. Jacob, it's important for you to go into the forest again after that. It's possible to meet Edward for no reason, and instead of meeting the White Shark, you meet her Black Hour today. And he tells her that he came to the Collins and they are not present or anything. Edward seems kind and tells her she's attracted to him, which is true. She reveals they always come here and she will inform Edward because he always protects her. And what are you doing? Anyway, Laurent needs to know that she's attracted to him, and he tells her that he was coming to know whether she is still under the protection of the Cullens or not. Because Victoria wants to get rid of her like Edward got rid of her lover. But he can't wait for Victoria because she is a pack of wolves. And he comes to Laurent, and Bella runs to tell Charlie, and he tells her that she will behave and make her stay at home, and the night comes and Jacob goes to Bella's house and leaves from the window. The task. He means he pulls away from her after their closeness, keeping a secret he can't reveal. Bella suspects Jacob's friends are responsible for his sudden change. Jacob plans to explain the situation to her briefly before leaving to meet his friends. The next day, Bella visits Jacob's house and finds him asleep. Through the window, she sees his friends approaching, so she does the impossible and goes to confront them. They have changed Jacob, and he is still afraid of them. So she laughs at her words. So Bella acts like she doesn't care. And she sends her strong and stubborn bull around her to the herd, and Bella does the imitation. The meeting turns to Jacob's house. She runs around Jacob's house. Jay says, no, Jacob, no. Then he says, you're surprised, Jacob. Jay says to you what? Lord, does Jay turn to him? Yes, and he talks with Jacob, and there is Jacob. He teaches the bird that it seems she likes dealing with a wild animal. 1,000, so what? Sam says to Jacob's second friends, Take the seventh night at the eggplant's house. And after that, Jacob stayed in Bologna. And as if nothing happened between them, they cut off some of the show's importance. Jacob, after that, he took a night to walk, and they are on the beach. She tells him, "You mean you finally came out like a fox? Well, don't tell me uncle from the first. This man, I fell asleep in my strangeness. The developments are not important at all." What does Jacob tell her after that? They killed Laurent, tried to kill Victoria, but she escaped. Don't be afraid, he will always protect you. But Bella also stands her ground. But she decides to take a new risk to make Edward save her. And she goes to the cliff to throw herself off. And Edward appears in time and warns her not to do that. Jacob saves the narrator's daughter from drowning. When she wakes up, she reveals she was trying to get rid of the general anesthesia, insisting it doesn't hurt despite her actions. After Jacob gets her home, before she leaves, Jacob says he smells the scent of blood and there might be a mole in Victoria or something else. But Jacob sees a mole like Cariel or Carl or his mother. Jacob attempts to stop her from going, believing it's a ruse. But she insists and goes down to see this. Alice comes out, and when she sees Alice, she wonders how she is alive? Because Alice had a vision that Bella committed suicide, and Bella tells her that she was cliff diving as a form of thrill-seeking. After a while, she asks her, "What is this smell? Is it you? Couldn't you stand it for an hour if Edward left you?" Then Jacob appears, seeming bothered by the smell. When the vampire leaves and Jacob, in his wolf form, appears, it's crucial for her to walk away immediately. Jacob informs her about his transformation to prevent her from panicking and thinking about Edward, especially since she had already forgotten about him. While he's trying to get close to her, he gets a phone call, and it's Edward. Jacob answers her phone and tells Edward that Charlie's at the funeral at his house. Bella and the rest of the pack are discussing the situation. Bella enters and says that she saw in her vision that Edward is going to the Volturi to kill himself because he thinks she's dead. Bella goes to stop them from doing what they're doing. They tell her she's not alive yet. She'll tell me, "Okay, don't call me as long as there are phones." The director wants this. Then Jacob tells Bella, "Stay, my girl, not because you're sharing this, because of me." She replies, "My hour for Alice, my remote control, my girl's belt, okay, safety, you son of a bitch." They travel to Italy afterwards. And at the same time, Edward is with the Volturi. He doesn't know her name, her mother, but they have a second opinion. Instead of ending his life, he could join them to benefit from his abilities. But he is determined on his decision. Alice and Bella arrive in the crowded city of Volterra. He doesn't know her mother's name, but he has returned to ban vampires from the city. Edward reveals himself so people can kill him. Bella leaves Alice and goes to save Edward, as he is closer to Alice than ever before. She is confused about her feelings, wondering if she's attracted to him or not. And in a conversation, it means that Bella is alive and well, but she is a real living girl, and Bella will come to her senses in order to chase Edward. No one sees him, covered in Jin's dust. They'll see a girl like a visitor pulling a rope. "Oh, father, be quiet. You don't scare anyone." Soon, Bella will gently fall into Edward's arms. He'll think he's in paradise. Bella will tell him this won't change her. She'll realize he's on the ground, as usual. It's not reasonable. She is a worldly woman. The important thing is that they enter the building after a while, and Edward is shocked and happy that Bella is still alive. She tells him that she came just to let him know she is alive. He doesn't take his own life out of guilt, even though guilt could have consumed him. He knows he won't commit suicide to make her feel guilty, but he also won't allow her to continue living in the world. This is not present in it, and its men are the teacher's masculinity, whether it is Aru or not Aru, and I do not know what his mother's name means. It would be her time to tell them that their teacher, Edward, wants her, despite not knowing her reality. They say her time that he wants her, but Edward says her time that she walks a little until he reveals her. The teacher, her time, wants her with Edward, but Edward refuses, and she comes after that. They said to her, she tells them that we are in a holiday. Stay fresh. You stay too. And she comes after that. Jane, the teacher's sister, tells the class that the teacher is far away from her. She realizes they are unnecessarily late, so she gives them time before they all leave. Edward quartered himself, instead of being a mixed salad, and when they arrived at the teacher, the head of the World Evil Management Council, the first thing he does is go and surrender to Edward. But in reality, when he saw Edward with Bella by his side, he decided to use his great talent, which is to drop ideas by hand touch. Let's see what's in the crystal. Importantly, when he discovered Edward was thinking about Bella constantly, he wondered what else we would see and what she was thinking about. The shocking surprise was that he saw nothing at all, as if stepping on death itself, but without any emotion. He was shocked, as if he had found power. Of course, a new game, he started laughing, a wicked laugh, a very cartoonish laugh, actually a strong cable thing. The crucial point is that he is leaving a shell, demonstrating its strength and impact on him, regardless of his race or background. A merchant came to her strength. She could hit the one in front of her with a heart, like the state's eye, a leader in the street. She would hit the box you came in, reaching you every reality. At this moment, a dude was scared like a cat. You saw it in his eyes as he tries to elevate her, building for her to dress up Bella. The eye at her time hits him, but the Lord of the Throne saves him. However, Bella is not satisfied and leaves him to dress her up. But he didn't get anything, not even a duck. My country, a duck. My country. The important thing is that after all this, the teacher should collapse. But the devil on his left and this evil council tells him it's his time. She knows more than necessary, and you know what else needs to happen. The important thing is that the teacher calls out like this on Felix. And Felix is like the green man in shape and size, I mean. And of course we expected what her ability was. And there's a clash, an action between Edward and him. And of course Bella did a seesaw. And she tells the teacher after that he is hurting Edward against that he is killing her. And he still has a grudge against her after that they said she tells the teacher that he is by God. She will join their company in the future, and her teacher's watch will hold his hand. He will see Bella, actually, and she is a crystal for a while. Fahim Koro, the disco, is beautiful like this, and she will be trading in the forest and her watch. The teacher is amazed that the cathedral foresees the future. After some negotiation, contributions, and unnecessary words, an agreement is reached. The teacher agrees to let the students graduate if Bella transforms in the future. You'll see what happens to Bella later on. At home, she dreams they are still torturing Edward, but upon waking, she finds him next to her. She insists he transform her, but he prefers to wait until she's fully awake. And the reason that made him leave from the beginning is that he was thinking that he was protecting her. And when he distances her, he will not do so again if God wills, because when she transforms, she will prefer to be with him. It means angry. And it's not a matter of him getting rid of her at all, but he tells her that they might be humiliated. The group is talking about this without needing it. She transforms, and God knows she is exposed. She acts this way for the family to vote on her transformation. She doesn't have to be the first to vote. After that, he supports her stubbornly to avoid prolonged temptation for her blood, but she refuses. Rosalie votes for her because she sees that this life is not the life she should live, on the contrary. Emmett, who would be happy for her to be one of them, and Esme, who sees her as part of the family, vote for her. And her hour will contradict Edward on what is basically happening. And it is the hardest thing that the disappointment comes from the closest people to you. Why are you treating me like this? And her hour later, Cariel keeps saying that they are doing this because he decided to be with her for the rest of his life, and he won't give them another choice. So Cariel's voice is also there, and it will be 5 voices against 2, and they are still on the way to go back home opposing their path. Jacob, I forgot to say that Edward tells Bella that Jacob wants to talk to her, but Bella comes with him, and at that time, Jacob thanks Edward for saving Bella's life. While he was absent, at this time, Jacob says that he wasn't with her from the beginning, essentially. Jacob warns Bella and Edward that if he becomes a member, the truce between the vampires and the werewolves will end. Bella told him that this is her choice, but Jacob says and tells her that she has options, and then Bella holds on. And Jacob was told in a soft whisper, "God bless you, Jacob. Don't you want to see me while I'm with him like this?" Edward notices Bella's changed way of speaking. He asks her, "Where is my Bella?" Jacob, upset, tells him, "You come to burn me like a fire." Bella gathers some of them, stops them, and walks away. After some time, Edward agrees to try Bella's compromise, but resists the idea. He agrees on one condition that is not revealed. The film ends, leaving us wondering if Bella will agree to the compromise. Will Jacob surrender to the harsh reality? Does he have a life beyond the trio? Are these all in the country they live in? Or did Victoria have another opinion?